If I told you we had a 47% increase in listings year over year in the month of April 2024, what is your initial reaction to that? Mine is, how many sales did we increase by? In today's video, what we're going to do is we're going to break down the April 2024 statistics. If you are thinking of making a move or purchasing a home, you really need to stay tuned through this whole video to get yourself in tune with what's happening in the market. So we've seen a 47.3% increase in listings from year over year, which is a massive increase. But more importantly, we have not seen a massive increase in the amount of sales. So we now have this massive surplus of inventory. If it wasn't already a buyer's market, we're definitely leaning that way. And the Canadian real estate market is just begging for an interest rate decrease, even if it's just a quarter point. Now, before we break down the April 2024 numbers, people like you are reaching out to me all the time for assistance in the real estate market through YouTube, believe it or not. And if you are looking for some help in the real estate market, feel free, click the first link in the description. You can book an appointment with me to discuss your real estate needs, whether it's developing a game plan to save up for your down payment for your first home, or you're looking to transition your family from your first to your forever home. Don't hesitate, click that first link and we can get on our way together. My contact information is also in the description box below. So first thing we're gonna do is read the GTA Realtors Real Estate Statistic Report from the Toronto Real Estate Board. If you don't wanna follow along here, skip forward. You'll have timestamps in the video, but I'm gonna read this to you. It'll be on my side here as well. So Toronto, Ontario, May 3rd, 2024. So this just came out. So April 2024 home sales were down in comparison to April 2023, as we've already mentioned, when there was a temporary resurgence in market activity last year. New listings were up strongly year over year, which meant that there was an increased choice for all these home buyers and little movement in the average selling price compared to last year. So the GTA Realtors reported 7,100 sales through the Toronto Real Estate Board in April 2024, which is actually down 5% compared to the previous year. New listings were up 47.2%, as we've already mentioned, year over year for the same period. On a seasonally adjusted monthly basis, sales actually edged lower while new listings were up compared to March. Listings were up markedly in April in comparison to last year and last month. Many homeowners are anticipating the increase in demand for ownership of housing as we move throughout this spring. While sales are expected to pick up, many would-be home buyers are likely waiting for the Bank of Canada to actually begin lowering its policy rate before purchasing a home, says the Toronto Real Estate Board President Jennifer Pierce. The MLS Home Price Index, the HPI, composite benchmark was down by less than 1% year over year. The average selling price was up 0.3% to $1,156,000 on a seasonally adjusted month-over-month basis. The MLS HPI composite was up by 0.4% and the average selling price was up 1.5% compared to March. Generally speaking, buyers are benefiting from all of this choice in the GTA real estate market in April. As a result, there's little movement in the selling prices compared to last year. Looking forward, the expectation is that lower borrowing costs will prompt tighter market conditions in the months to come, which will result in some renewed price growth, especially as we move into 2025, said the Chief Market Analyst Jason Mercer. All levels of government have announced some plans and stated that they are committed to improving affordability and choice for residents. However, more work is needed on alignment to achieve these goals, whether we're talking about bringing enough housing online to account for future population growth or finding the right balance between government spending and a combination of inflation. We can't have policies in opposition. Housing policy alignment is key to achieving sustained, tangible results, says TREB CEO John D. Michele. So as you're going to see here, when you're going through this article with me, there is a massive increase in listings and a decrease in sales, but we continually hear a lot of the same thing. If rates decrease, buyers will, flock to the market. This may be the case, but if we keep getting more and more and more inventory and less and less and less action happening in the real estate market, how much more can the prices increase if you already have all of this inventory that's available and not necessarily selling at a quick rate? So looking at the average prices last month, so if you're in the 416, your average detached home was 1.8 million, your average semi was 1.365, your average townhouse was still over $1 million in the Toronto region, so $1,010,000. and your average condo is still at $766,000. If we're going to hop over to the 905, you got a 1.421 average detached, you got a 997 average semi, your townhouse slips under $1 million to 933, and you're able to get into a condo for your average price at $655. Now, obviously, average takes into account the highs and the lows, the different types of apartments, the different types of houses. So it's a range, of course, but this just goes to show you the prices are still fairly high. Things haven't decreased as much as you would anticipate if we have 47% increase in the actual inventory month over month. And I think what's happening is a lot of sellers are coming to the market, but they're coming to the market with the understanding that things are not moving quickly. They're being more prepared maybe by their agent that's assisting them. And this in turn is allowing them to understand, okay, maybe it's going to take me 30 days, 60 days, 70 days to sell my home. But if I want to be tight on my pricing and be very, on top of my value, then I'm going to have to hold firm when I'm getting offers that maybe I'm not too excited about. This may be what's happening, but as we get closer and closer to some of this renewal for people who've maybe bought in 2020 or 2021, who their mortgage is coming up for renewal and their rates are going to skyrocket, we're going to see some sellers that need to sell. Not just want to sell like a lot of people, they're going to need to sell, and they're going to sell for whatever price they are offered. And if there's so much opportunity for buyers out there, they might have to end up taking a price that's not quite in line with market value, and this will in turn start the wheels for prices to kind of trickle down in some areas. If you accept $500,000 for your condo and it's worth $520,000, this will start that trickle down effect for the next sale and the next sale and the next sale. So this is something to kind of watch out for. Are we going to see this happening in the future, especially if rates do not drop at all? This is where this will really start to happen, and then investors might just hop into the market, because first-time home buyers, they seem to think waiting is the best option. If you watch my last video, it's up in the right-hand corner here. We discuss whether it's a good time to buy now or wait, but the gist of it is you have to figure out what your time frame looks like. You have to figure out if you want to compete. If the rates do drop, do you want to compete with more buyers? Or are you buying something long-term and you're okay to maybe negotiate with the seller for today and figure things out long-term, knowing that you're not going to want to move in 3 or 4 years? A couple of the other numbers that I do want to go over here, we've already discussed them. So the sales year over year were down about 300 units for the month of April. As for the listings, there were 16,941 new listings last month. Same time last year, 11,500. So this is our 47.2% increase in listings. Now that brings us to an active listing amount of 18,000. And last year, same time, we had only 10,300 active units. So we have a 74% increase in the active amount of inventory that's out there. We've increased the days on market compared to last year, 19 days instead of 17, 28 days instead of 24. So we're seeing things take just a little bit longer to sell. Things are not taking months longer, just a couple days on average, but the more this inventory builds up and the less sales happen, we're going to see these days stretch further and further and further. If you're interested in getting more specific details, there will be more market update videos to come. This is just a 416-905 breakdown of what's really happening, quick to the point for you, but we will have a Georgetown market update, a Toronto market update, we will have a Brampton market update, Cambridge market update. If you're interested in any of these areas, subscribe to the channel. You get notifications when our new videos are released. Thank you so much for watching this video. My name is Carpino, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.